Let's focus, shall we, on what happened in Italy today, starting off with Juventus coming from behind to beat Turin by 2-1. Weston McKennie and Bonucci with a late goal that gave Pirlo's side all 3 points as Gab Marcotti joins us. Gab, do you want to start on how bad they were in the first half or how they rallied in the second half?
Well, look, they rallied in the second half. In the end, those are two not set-piece goals, but those are two headed goals. They all count. It's not obviously the football that not Pirlo promised us, but Pirlo said he would try to implement. It was interesting, Dan. After the game, they asked Leo Bonucci, what went wrong in that first half, and he said the usual things. He says we were too slow, not enough conviction. We were playing at 2 miles an hour. We weren't in it. We haven't taken his concepts on board yet, and I mean we haven't taken them to heart. We have him in our minds, but we don't have him in our heart. So the skipper getting all poetic there. But I think there is something in that, Dan, in the sense that, it's almost like they haven't fully committed to this way of playing. And as a result, they end up playing cautiously and poorly and slowly. And a well-organized team like Torino creates enormous amounts of trouble for them.
It's got to be a concern, though, Cam.
Look, I know people are mocking me when I say this, but they're going in another direction. He's trying to introduce a different philosophy, different concepts, and he's judged on two things. He's judged on how good those concepts are and also how well he can get his players to execute them. We don't know how good those concepts are in reality because we've seen other teams do them, but we haven't seen Juve do them. We do know that he's having a difficult time getting them to buy into it consistently. And that's a challenge. He's a first-time coach. At some point, if he's not delivering, they will pull the plug. But again, every indication is that Juventus are willing to give him time, willing to give him opportunities. And I think they'll be encouraged by the reaction after the break.
Of course, Weston McKennie started that reaction with 13 minutes to go with his goal.
Yeah, and look, I mean, I think, McKennie coming on to really provide some of that intensity, some of that drive, some of that pace in the middle of the park. I know it's going to sound incredibly simple, but, McKennie comes from a league where a lot of teams play at a higher pace. And, you wouldn't have expected the ball moving around with that same intensity in midfield, certainly not last year or even in previous years at Juve, and that is what the likes of Bentancur, maybe Rabiot were used to. Archer as well, he comes from Barcelona where, they're used to having 60-65% possession. They can stroke it around. They've got Uncle Leo Messi to go and sort it out. At Juve, that's not the case. You have to, if you're going to play this way, you have to buy into it, and you have to get those automatic movements between players. You got to keep the team short, back to front, and you have to keep them all moving quickly and do it with intensity. McKennie may not be the second coming of Xavi, but he's certainly a very, very intelligent player, and he is somebody who lifts the tempo with his intensity.
Meanwhile, Inter with a 3-1 win against Bologna. Hakimi with a brace in that one. 3 straight league wins for Conte's side, Gab, as well.
Yeah, as well, except those those bits in between in the Champions League, sometimes less so. But I thought this was a very good performance from Inter. It was exactly what before. If you could have drawn it up, how do we want to play? Well, we want to go and we want to rest some guys. We want to go out and we want to play calmly, but with intensity. We don't want this rage that Conte always talks about to be disorganized. We want it to be channeled into executing what we do. I thought they did it very, very well for much of the game. And Achraf Hakimi, some people doubting, well, can he defend? But look, it's a statement. You go out there with 2 wingbacks like Hakimi, who's obviously very attacking, and Perisic, who's not a wingback, who's a winger impersonating a wingback. You're sending a statement of intent. And I think that's what Conte wanted to do in this game. And I think the players delivered for him.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.